Thank you so much, everybody. I know. But for real, thank you guys so much. Thank you to the variety teams. Thank you so much.
Conceited versus confidence. Where is the line drawn? I've been seeing Tyla pop up a lot on my timeline lately. And that's nothing unusual. She has a really good marketing team. I'm always seeing her on my timeline and stuff. There was this one video, she was on I don't know if she was giving a speech or something, but somebody gave her a compliment in the crowd, and the way she responded, I guess it rubbed people the wrong way. So one thing I have noticed, when you are a really attractive person, you can't acknowledge that you are attractive. If you're we have a term, medium ugly or average, those are the people who can usually get away with stuff like this. But when you are really attractive, it kind of turns people off, and I'm not exactly sure the reason why, but I did ask ChatGPT, where is the line drawn between being conceited and being confident? And this is what ChatGPT had to say. So, confidence is rooted in self-assurance. You know your strengths without needing consistent validation. You're balanced with humility. You recognize you're capable, but you're also aware you can learn, improve, and sometimes be wrong. You inspire others. People around you feel encouraged, respected, and uplifted. And conceited is rooted in insecurity masked as superiority. You project that you're better than other people to protect your ego. You lack humility. You dismiss the values of others, other people's skills and perspectives. You alienate others. People feel diminished, dismissed, or disrespected by you. So the key difference, when you're confident equals I'm good, when you're conceited equals I'm better than you. Confidence stands on its own. Conceited or conceit compares, diminishes, or inflates at others' expenses. So that's the difference between being confident and conceited. And you can read the difference in people. Do you feel little when you're around this individual? Because they have an aura of confidence or an energy of loving themselves, which is nothing wrong with that. I never saw anything wrong with somebody loving on themselves. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how attractive you are. If you can acknowledge that you're attractive, I used to think that was a super strength, because there's some attractive people who tend to hide themselves, make themselves smaller than they are just to appease other people. And that's the humility part in it, I guess. But you shouldn't have to hide yourself for other people's feelings. So that's why I always admire people who didn't feel the need to do that. I always felt like that was something, a super strength. Especially if you're attractive, because of the amount of backlash you will receive. I always notice this. The more attractive you are and the more confident you are, the more people are almost turned off by you. And because I noticed that, I used to be such a people pleaser that I would make sure I didn't act like that. But that was me being a people pleaser, not because of me just simply not caring and just loving myself anyway out loud. Loving yourself out loud is such a superpower to me. And I'm finally at that place. It took me forever to get here, and it was only because being a people pleaser and not wanting to hurt other people's feelings, that I knew if you're attractive and you are confident, it kind of makes people feel small. But if you're not, that's not your intention. If you're not going out of your way to make other people feel small, if it's not in your character, if you're humble anyways, you have to understand that if people are still mistreating you, that's something that has more to do with them than it has to do with you. You know what I mean? It has more to do with how they feel about themselves. Maybe they wish they were the same way. So, I don't know, the brighter you shine, the more people they tend to more look away because you're shining too bright for them. You ever seen a really bright light? You can't really look at it. It's the same thing. When you're a triple threat and you shine bright, people are always going to look for a reason to destroy you and ruin your reputation and all of these things. They'll look for any reason to drag you and pull you down. Yeah, I've seen this with Tyla firsthand ever since she came onto the scene. Now, is she a diva? I don't know her that well. I know that can be something that can turn people off and rub people the wrong way. It's really about how you treat other people. Are you making other people feel small in the name of your ego, in the name of yourself? Because that's when I can see somebody being called conceited in the name of them admiring themselves. You know what I mean? Because it's not a sin to admire yourself, but in the name of making other people feel small, then that's when it becomes a problem. Because when I look at average women and they're talking about I'm a bad bitch and can't nobody fuck with me, people are hyping them up. But let it be somebody who is actually really attractive, it's doing the same thing. For some reason, that turns people off, and that person will get labeled conceited automatically, and you'll think you're better than automatically, because that's in what ChatGPT said. Being conceited is part of thinking you're better than others. And a lot of us pretty girls have heard that before. A lot of us exoticals have heard that before. You think you're better than us. And there's a lot of projection for real. I notice another thing, women who benefit from isms, like us exoticals, whether it's all 3 isms, 2 out of 3, usually even 1 out of the 3, we can't really love ourselves out loud without people assuming right off the bat that we think we're better, which insinuates being conceited. And it's only because of the isms that people feel that way. Because especially with monoracial exoticals who are majority black but don't look like it or have certain features, a lot of black people will feel like you're rubbing in their face your privileges when you do that, and that's not true. It's usually a lot of projection with that, unless there's the exception, and there's usually exceptions out there. We're not going to act like there's not. With the people who actually are conceited and will rub their isms in other people's faces, but that has more to do with how they feel. Like ChatGPT said, it's rooted in insecurity masked as superiority. When you're conceited and you act like that and you rub things in other people's faces to make yourself feel better, that's more of a conceited trait when other people are doing that. And there are exoticals that will do that, but you got to think that person is probably insecure and they're just masking. And in order for themselves to feel better, they have to throw certain things in their face that they know other people worship, like their hair texture, for example, or maybe they're really light skinned, and they'll throw it in other people's faces because they're like, I'm lighter than all of y'all, because they're trying to mask something. They're using it as a leverage to feel better than other people because they don't really feel better inside. So that's one of those things. So that's why that person's usually doing that. I'm not a doctor, but that's just my analysis on that. Because it's like with exoticals, it's like, how dare you still be black, but you have more privileges than I do. So that's all that really comes from. Just rooted back deep into slavery days, where the house and the field, slaves, even though there was nothing pleasant about being in the house at all, We've already talked about that. And I hate that we have a hierarchy that makes it even worse in the Black community, where it's like, if you have these features, you're more at the top of the hierarchy. And I hate the hierarchy system. I hate the hair texture system. Like, if we can get rid of all of these things and just get along, but we're so far gone with the whole colorism thing. It's been years, hundreds of years, and we're still having these conversations. So I knew this one Exotical. She had what we call good hair, and sometimes she would braid it up or put it in a lace front or something. I'm like, girl, you got all that nice hair. Why are you covering it up or whatever? She would always try to cover it up, but she didn't want people thinking that she was better, or all of these things that people would think about her because of her hair. Even her swinging her hair as she walked would make her feel some type of way. I'm like, girl. But then I had to stop and think, like, I used to do that kind of thing with my skin complexion when I was younger. I would wear long sleeves and stuff when I was around unambiguous people, just so they wouldn't think that, you know, I just wanted to feel accepted, really. And I would get bullied a lot for how I would look, because, you know, when you're young, you didn't get instilled that women just be simply hating on you. So you think when you're young, you're just being bullied for who you are, and you don't know why. So I just wanted to feel accepted, and I couldn't make a friend. You know, I just wanted to make a friend, a Black friend, usually, because, you know, I'm Black, duh. And, you know, it was just hard. So, and somehow subconsciously I knew that the way I look had something to do with it. So I would do things like that, like hide my skin complexion and stuff, or tan a little bit just so I can get a little sun to me and get a little melanin going on so I could fit in. But once you get older and gain some wisdom and realize there's nothing wrong with you at all, and people just want you to do certain things to yourself to make themselves feel better, once you realize all of that and learn to accept and love who you are unconditionally, and understand that you're not anti-Black for doing certain things, and you're just being yourself, you're just having fun, you're just being a girl, you know, you'll get past all that. You know, people have their own insecurities that they're going on. They wish they could be as confident as the next girl, you know what I mean? They wish they just be hating. So we just have to keep that in remembrance with people. People really just be hating. But the confidence, the knowing that you're attractive, whether you are or average, is not a bad thing. It's actually really good. It's really good for the person's self-esteem. Because a lot of people don't like themselves. A lot of people don't. So I really do admire those who do, who have found themselves. We're all on a journey. I'm in a place, the last maybe 3 years, I've found myself, and I'm in my early 30s. So it's a journey to find yourself. If you're not there yet, don't beat yourself up. It took me a while to get there. You just gotta know the things that you like to do, what excites you the most. Start in that direction. What are your talents? I just saw a interview with Beyonce, and she says she loves to, I forgot the particular paintings. She likes to paint, and there's a particular paint that she does. And she was talking about it, and that's something that she likes to do while she's shooting a movie, as a way to like relax and calm her mind instead of watching TV.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Cynthia.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
See you in a second. You like to paint, though, I hear.
I do oil paintings.
You do?
Yes.
What kind of realistic or abstract?
It's a mixture of the two. It's usually women,
Really?
and I've never shown anyone any of my paintings except my mom and my family.
Really?
She's the only one that has one.
Sign.
It's signed. I signed it with my middle name, Giselle, and I do it usually when I'm filming movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I guess because I try not to watch television, and I try not to listen to the radio.
Why's that?
Just so I could stay focused. And
Really?
the time that I have home, usually I don't have time because we're on the set so long, and then I have only 12 hours to get home, take a shower, go to sleep, get back on the set.
So painting is relaxing.
Painting relaxes me.
That's
So find what your passions are and just start there. When it comes to finding who you are, finding yourself, learning to love yourself again. Decentering men is going to play a huge role also. Putting yourself first and not men. Not chasing after men, but chasing after you. Just trying to figure out what you like, how you like to dress. Don't let people tell you what to do. Don't be a people pleaser for other people like you to wear sneakers, but you like to wear sandals, for example. Don't let people change who you are. When you're young, you're more vulnerable to that, especially if you weren't raised with a parent who didn't instill confidence in you. You'll easily be a mold for people who want to use you, especially men. Men can see a woman who's moldable and will manipulate her into whatever he wants her to be real easy. So we gotta be careful. We have to know who we are before we get into these relationships. If I would have known these, if I would have had the Exotical channels and all of these channels, your Level Up Guru, All Things Woman, if I would have had all of these channels 10 years ago, like really though, I would be so much stronger as a person. I just didn't have no guidance. But these channels are very much helpful in those departments with growing up into womanhood, especially for women who didn't grow up with mothers who really taught them things, like myself. So where's the line drawn with confidence and conceited? Do you think you're better than others? Do you have humility? Are you a good person? Are you trying to bring others down in the name of your own ego? Do you need outside validation? These are the things you should ask yourself. Being a good person, to me personally, has a lot to do with how attractive a person is. It's not just physical. A lot of people can get pretty privileged channels very confused. And my channel is not surface level. It's not. I talk about your inner beauty as well as your outer beauty. Because, the outside beauty, that's the fun part. That's the part where we get to play dressed up and decorate ourselves and just be who we want to be. As far as being a girl, that's the fun part in it. Just being beautiful is fun. But it's not just surface level. It's about your heart, your character. How do you treat your neighbor? Do you give back? Lately, I've been on my humanitarian. I've been wanting to help the homeless. I've been wanting to help with human trafficking and just wanting to make a difference in certain departments and certain areas. I just been wanting to help the world in any way that I can. I'm always looking to help others. It's not just about being beautiful on the outside. It's not about that. It's about being beautiful on the inside, being a beautiful person. And that will really determine how beautiful you are as a whole. Because I don't know how many attractive people I know who are very attractive, but are very mean and nasty people. Don't want to be around them. It almost turns off how attractive they are. And when it comes to Tyla, I don't necessarily get conceited from her. Like I said, I don't know her that well. But what I can see, she's not a mean person. She doesn't belittle people. She just knows she knows what it is with herself. And that's good. That's not a bad thing. I think more people need to start feeling like that. I think she should be an inspiration for a lot of people, how they should view themselves. And fuck how other people feel, about how you feel about yourself. Because how you feel about yourself is way more important. How you feel about yourself determines how you move in the world, how life goes for you. You know what I mean? If you don't feel good about yourself, your life is going to reflect that. Your house is probably going to be dirty if you don't like yourself. Everything's a reflection of how you feel about yourself. So I noticed the more I started to love myself, I wanted to clean up more. So it is a reflection how you live is how you feel about yourself, what you're eating. I noticed since I started to really love myself, I didn't want to eat bad things that are bad for my body. I wanted to take care of my body. Like, you want to take care of yourself in a different way when you start to love yourself. So I hope this was a helpful video. Let me know what you all think. And I'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you for listening.